like you were back. What do you think was the biggest difference in finding yourself again on the mound for this team?
Yeah, I mean, execution when I needed it was pretty good. Kind of got behind in some counts, but executed when I needed to. Don't think it was notably better or worse than the last couple of weeks. I think the results were just better.
Seemed like you had a lot of confidence in the fastball, especially on the strikeout pitch.
Yeah, I mean, kind of one of those things where command of it was there today, so we had to lean on it a little bit more, and just worked out well.
Do you peek up at the radar gun and see a couple of 100s and don't smile?
I don't remember if I smiled. I check occasionally, but yeah, it's a good gauge to see where I'm at, especially with the metrics too.
How good was it to be able to pick off Ellie in that moment, a guy who's very good at stealing bases? More rewarding because it's him?
Yeah, definitely nice that he didn't get to steal and get to second because, a hit with him at second is a run, so nice to keep him off second base.
I think that was the second fewest pitches you've had to start at this level. Were you pleased with the efficiency, and did you kind of have an idea of how many pitches you were working with, or how many innings or anything like that?
Yeah, it could have been a little bit more efficient, but I mean, we were in a good spot, especially with the lead.
Well, when they talk about workload management, is this kind of the ideal circumstance where you get 6, you're in line for the win, but you don't have to go any further because you got a 7-run cushion?
It worked out today pretty well. Definitely nice to get Chappie and Betty and those guys a day off after throwing a couple days in a row. So that's more so the thing that I'm thinking about.
I think after tonight you surpassed the innings total you had last year between LSU and even a couple starts in the minors. How do you just feel at this point in the season? I think at 131 total innings or so.
Yeah, feel good. And I think that's we've learned as we've gone along. But comfortable with the work that I've put in over the off season and then at the beginning of the season and up to this point. But feeling good.
We talk a lot about pitchers building off of momentum from you, but with what Mitch and Herman were able to do in the last 2 starts, did you feel you wanted to build momentum off of them?
Yeah, it's easier to make starts, I think, when you have momentum like that. So just keep the ball rolling.
Yaz now has 5 homers when you start. Have you talked at all about that correlation to helping his hitting?
No, I didn't know that until I saw it when I was under here on the TVs. Pretty cool.
Paul, a lot of people talk about workloads and everything. How important is it for you to, go through September?
Through September?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really important because last year was a weird situation because really, you look at the college season, we were going obviously from February 17th or whatever it was to the end of the college season. As long as that could have been, obviously with the College World Series, and then a 2 or 3 week shutdown and then ramp up again, which is just a weird way to do it. So that's one of the big things about this season is just getting used to how long the season is, because it's super important to be used to that for to have a better plan for the off season and all the seasons going forward, is so that it's not a shock to my system every season. If we're making the season longer incrementally, I think that's a lot worse than making the season longer for one time, which, as frustrating as it was at the beginning of the season with the starting in AAA and the innings limit there, I don't think we could have done it any better.
Oh, do you still feel strong? I mean, you looked at tonight on the mound. Do you still feel, good to go? Or is the long season starting to wear on you at all? Or how do you handle that?
Yeah, I think, like I said, I think the obviously the goal is to go out there and pitch well every week, but or every start. But I think it is important in terms of how much this is a learning experience and that kind of thing, because this is my my first professional season, and it's just so different with the travel and how long the season is, pitching on shorter rest, all that. So feeling good, not necessarily surprised by that, but pleased with it, with how good I'm feeling right now, and just gotta keep working and sprint to the end of the season here.
I'm imagining when you're out there on the mound, a lot of it's pitching on adrenaline. How much of it is the adjustment is the next day and the day after that? It's just in terms of dealing with the mileage that you're putting on, that you're feeling it the effects afterward, or is that the way it's working for you?
Yeah, I think you just have to be more on top of your routine. Not necessarily more on top of your routine, but your routine is just different. And obviously, it's nice that I'm not in school anymore, and this is the only thing on my plate. So I have more time, more energy to do, to take care of stuff here. So the routine is just a little bit different. Body recovers a little bit different, but it's definitely nice to have more resources and a better plan and that kind of thing. Because I've learned a lot through this season, and I know a lot more than I did this point last season, and I'm going to know a lot more in a year than I do now. So, yeah, just different, I think.
You've been pitching on every 5 or 6 days rest. I mean, do you feel like next year you'll be able to pitch on a regular turn, like every 5th?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I am really pleased about this year is that I feel that I can pitch on shorter rest. That's, if I'm, making assumptions, it's a big shock to your system probably to have a longer season and to shorten the rest by 2 days or whatever it is. So I feel that I can pitch on shorter rest, but with the plan that they have for pitching the whole season on an innings limit with where we're at, it makes a lot of sense to me why I'm not. But I did it once, when I was in AAA, and it wasn't too different. Did it in spring training, did it in the off season. I was throwing bullpens on that schedule. It's not, my body doesn't feel substantially worse when I'm on a 5-day, even though I haven't really done it this year.